NFL fans? Welcome to the Legit Football NFL podcast. Armand Mosin is back in the chat. And ladies and gentlemen, this is cause for celebration. I know I have like a whole intro I have to do, but Armand is jumping in with the old hey now, which we've just desperately missed on the show for a couple weeks. So shout out to Armand. Welcome in. I'm introducing Armand now in the chat prior to my co-host, but it's never too late to say sorry. And that's a little trailer there for something that's coming up later in the show. But I have Mr. Adrian Rovito from Down Under. Adrian, how are you?
Oh, so much better now. Ahmad, last week watch last week's show. We missed you, man.
Oh yeah,
And the chat was live, but we missed you.
He's famously dubbed the GOAT in my eyes. I say it all the time. He was visiting family, so there you go, Armand. They were excused absences. You will not receive demerits. You still get your gold stars for today. But Armand, I don't know if you were aware of this, but Adrian Rovito and I have a really special gift for you today. We are doing song titles to describe NFL teams' off seasons. We didn't really pick a form at all. I don't know if we're going to do like a pick three random ones and explain it as well as you can, go by conference, this, that, and the third. But it's such a fun exercise with OTAs in the rear view. We have 6 weeks until training camp. It's going to be a long 6 weeks, Adrian. We're going to have to get creative for these.
I hear, and look, we started already because the songs for off season. When we first did it, I was like, okay, I can get work with this. And then as I started to put some together, this was a good exercise. It's really fun.
So fun.
It was like a state of play thing. It was like what teams are at, but with the song, I liked it. I think I got some good ones.
Oh, dude, I'm super stoked, man. Well, in the meantime, we do have our legit headlines to get to, so I say we waste no time. Let's dive in. I'll start us off with Saquon Barkley, who is currently willing to consider a season-long holdout. Barkley told reporters that he will consider skipping the entire 2023 season if a long-term extension is not reached by the July 17th deadline. Barkley, like Raiders running back Josh Jacobs, does not want to play the upcoming season on the franchise tag, which is worth $10.1 million. We have a lot of respect for this. Barkley, who reportedly turned down a deal worth $14 million per season earlier, said that the Giants need to respect his contributions to the locker room, to the team. I think it's perfectly fair. Adrian, what are your thoughts on this and the entire running back debacle that's happening right now?
First up, Aman, baby is not here yet, but we're very much on baby watch. I'm just going to shout out to you, but really, again, happy to have you here. The running back market at the moment, as we all know, it's such a trope. Yeah, like they just don't get what they're worth. They tend to drop off a cliff. Now, Barkley in particular, Barkley's a baller. He came back to kind of form this year, but the other thing is like when he's already injury prone.
Yeah.
I think the problem, if you want my honest opinion, I don't believe in Daniel Jones. So I think they paid the wrong guy, that's for sure. But they couldn't get done with $14 million per season. I think it's kind of like Barkley, you got to understand where the market is at right now. There's very few running backs that are going to get that money. And some of them end up getting cut 2-3s into the deal, aka Dalvin Cook, so it's an unfortunate part of the game, to be really honest with you, because if running backs make the game exciting, good running backs make the game better, and they just don't get paid the way they should.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. And I do want to really quickly address, because my own personal thoughts, I talked about this with McFadden on Wednesday a little bit on 30 Minutes, but it's definitely like sort of a bigger than the individual situation right now. I think players like Barkley, players like Josh Jacobs, they're trying to create a better future for running backs, and I do respect that. And I think they're stronger men than I to have stomachs like that, to leave that kind of money on the table to try to, pave the way for future players at that position. So I do respect it to a great deal. And I think Quads is right. He does deserve more respect. Armand says, if I was the Giants GM, I would have let Jones and Barkley walk this offseason. That's an interesting proposition. I mean, they are a playoff team, right? I mean, they won a playoff game. They're not just, some slouches. I want to address Adrian's comment about paying the wrong guy. I don't know if there's any sort of amount of money that you wouldn't pay to have a quarterback that's not in the bottom 16.
I hear your point, but like it's pretty hard to imagine being Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones is getting 4 years, 160 mil.
Yeah.
And you're scratching 14 mil when you're like objectively a bigger contributor. No, I don't know if that's fair, because I guess everything goes through the QB, and it is one of those games that's just skewed towards the QB. But I don't Man, I get ya, but I just think that like Daniel Jones is not worth that kind of money. They should like at least give Norton Buckley, tag Daniel Jones, and look for your next QB.
If they could have just broken off Barkley a piece of that, like if Dimes would have, maybe settled for less, like maybe 5 million less per year, then I think everybody would stomach the entire situation a lot better. Alas, that's not where we're at. Quarterback is king, and that's, it's a passing league. We're going to continue to hear that for as long as it's true. I don't know if the pendulum ever swings back towards the running game. I mean, the rules are being catered more to quarterbacks, receivers. So, Adrian, at the moment, I'm inclined to think that it's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Shout out to Thomas Bray, our graphic designer, is in
Thomas?
the building. What's up, Thomas? I just think that's the way the cookie crumbles right now when it comes to positional value. And I would love to see the pendulum swing, but I'm not entirely confident that we're going to see it anytime soon.
Yeah, and look, respect to trying to change it, but the last time this happened, very famously, Le'Veon Bell did not end well. He
We
came back,
talked
he
about
just
that.
wasn't the same guy.
Atrocious.
And he got his bag. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
he didn't. Like, if anything, you ruined it because he ruined
100%.
pain. Yeah.
Did you listen to Brian's episode on Wednesday? Because you just took his exact point.
Yeah, just how is BMAC? How's he doing?
BMAC is the GOAT, man. You already know. BMAC is still BMAC. He's still dishing out hot takes and being fresh. You already know.
As always.
Of course. Absolutely. So, Mr. Adrian, why don't we move on to our next legit headline?
Let's do it.
Kirk Cousins is not expecting an extension. All right. Cousins told reporters that extension talks with the Vikings have been tabled until after the 2023 season. The 34-year-old will just focus on playing out the final year of his existing contract. Across 5 seasons with the Vikings, Cousins has managed to win just 1 postseason game. What are your thoughts on that?
Kirk, he's a weird character. So look, I mean, I think we're all sort of expecting him gone next year from the Vikings. He'll find the job though, because like his stats really do speak for themselves. He on paper and in the regular season, he really does play like, I'm not going to say top there, probably close to top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just pulled up his stats for a quick look. He's gone under 4,000 yards once in the past since 2016. His TD to interception ratio is always great. I think he's kind of dispelled that myth of Kirk Cousins doesn't play well in time. Yeah, I think we're expecting him gone, but I think, and this is kind of goes back to what you were saying with Daniel Jones. I wonder whether the Vikings will realize that having a QB that you can win with, like having you talk often about winning because of, not despite, and I could see them winning. I could see him driving playoff wins. I know he hasn't, and that's the tough part, is because really production is what matters. Regular season games don't count. Just ask Aaron Rodgers. But
right.
Look, it would be a shame to see Kirk go, because I think he really does deliver. Like, I think you should pay for someone in the sort of top 15 tier. I don't think he's going to get his bag though. I think the Vikings might be done.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad call. And I think we're talking it's very interesting parallel to the Daniel Jones conversation, because they made the choice to keep a quarterback in that tier at a really expensive rate. But will you ever truly make the leap with middling quarterbacks? I've talked to Anthony about that ad nauseum when it comes to Jared Goff, because I didn't think Jared Goff was an elite quarterback. He's been playing like one, and he's now getting paid like one potentially. If Goff goes out and balls out again, he's going to get an insane contract, and probably deservedly so. But is Jared Goff ever going to beat Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts?
Yeah. The thing is, like, you're right. He's never going to be them. But how much more? So I'm looking at his stats. So last year, 4,500 yards, 29 TDs, 14 interceptions. Year before, 4.2K, 33-7 with 103 rating. Like, it's not like he's playing bad. It's just, I think, look, maybe, you've got new coaching in Minnesota. I think they want a fresh start. But to Aman's question in the chat, and by the way, shout out to Aman, already getting ahead on our main topic. Love it.
I love that.
Look, in terms of next season, I think there's a couple of teams that have got, the Sam Howells of the world.
It's so funny you bring up Sam Howell. Are we getting a little reunion action?
I could absolutely see it. There is, so Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder could be on the way out. Let's see what happens with Russell Wilson. There's so many spots that have got loaded teams that just need average quarterback play. and Kirk Cousins can absolutely deliver above average. So it's a tough one. It's a weird one because you would normally not see a team let go of a quarterback like that. That said, he's 34 years old. Who knows what's going to happen if he takes that sort of steep decline and he's not willing to accept a 2 or 3 year contract, then I could see them moving on pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's going to be so many teams that are that are thinking that they're a quarterback away, right? I mean, we've seen it all over. I mean, could you imagine this Falcons team with those weapons, that offensive line, that improved defense, with Kirk Cousins at QB? Like, that's a team that very well could contend. I think he, unfortunately, is also the best bet for the Vikings moving forward as well. They don't have like a signed, sealed, delivered, like sewn up option behind him. So unless they're planning on burning it down, I don't know if there's anything better. But
yeah, I think the only thing, like they have started to burn it down, and they're taking calls on Daniel Hunter. If they get enough draft capital to be able to trade up, who knows? But yeah, and to answer Aman's question, I don't know if their position, because obviously they had such a stellar season last year. Like, I don't know if their position was good enough to get them somewhere where they could truly get his success. So they could maybe have gone after a Will Levis or a Hendon Hooker, but those are just as much question marks as Kirk Cousins next year.
I think you want a little bit of a succession plan or a contingency plan in place. That being said, I do believe we've beat the Kirk Cousins drum to death. And I do believe I did skip one. I'm going to roll back a little bit. Bengals, another legit headline. Cincinnati Bengals are asking running back Joe Mixon to take a pay cut. Adrian, what are your thoughts on this?
We're back to the running backs, and look, Mixon.
Right? Same thing.
But look, this is an important one. I think Mixon needs to do this if he wants to stay on the team.
You think so?
His production dropped off. He's obviously got the off-field issue. Sorry, and they've got to pay. They've got a lot of players to pay there. Now, I think Mixon will know the high-profile names that are out there right now: Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt. You see that now, legit football headlines.
Yeah.
If he goes out there, he's not getting that kind of money.
But is he one of the? I think he might be the best of that five.
He might be, but what I'm saying is if he's not going to take a cut and they need cap space, they need to start freeing some up for next year, they will just go out and sign. They could sign an Ezekiel Elliott. They could sign, I don't know about playoff Lenny, but Kareem Hunt, they'll get them for less than that. He's probably the best of them, but that's what I'm saying. He can take a little bit extra, but he's not going to get more than that.
Yeah, honestly, I think of those five, I mean, look, I did a deep dive into the numbers, okay, Adrian, because there's a lot of narratives flying around about these running backs right now. Zeke was a touchdown machine. Dalvin Cook, yes, he was less efficient this year than he's been in his past. This man still averaged 4.7 yards per carry. He had 1,100 yards. He's no slouch. Joe Mixon was pretty solid this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was this year the year he had the 5-touchdown game?
Mixon, did you say?
Yeah.
Yes, it might be. Yeah, but
5-touchdown game. He was cooking Buffalo. I think Joe Mixon is a solid running back, and I think that of that five,
he's got 7 touchdowns all year. So if you have that, how much is he delivering in other games?
Yeah. Let me read the fine print here. We have the end game will be about whether or not he's willing to realign his cap hit from $12.8 million to $10 million to better reflect the current state of the running back market. So that's a great. It's $2.8 million, right? Is Mixon worth that $2.8 million to keep him on your team? Is it worth Mixon to go out and pursue that $12 million, knowing that the likes of Dalvin Cook can't even get 7?
Correct. And I guess that's what I'm saying. And you're with a contender. You're not going to get that money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Understand that. Read the room, Joe Mixon. Particularly off. I hate when off-field issues. Look, admittedly, these are genuine ones, but NFL teams will grasp onto the tiniest thing and be like, off-field issues, we don't want to go near that. This is a genuine off-field issue, man. You take your money where you can get it. I understand $2.8 million is a lot of money to people like you and I, but you got enough money to make it work. And if you're on a contender, you're going to get more sponsorship. You're going to be more primetime games. Just man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's better for his brand. It's better for his personal image, and it might be better for his career if he wants to. If this is his contract year, if he wants to put together a special season with Joe Burrow and go out and do what he's continued to do to set himself up to get that bag the following year, it might just be the smart thing to sign your name on the dotted line, Joe Mixon. I don't know. I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah, and if he not last year, 2021, he balled out pretty well. Go and do that again. Go and show that you're worth the
Right.
money, because like you can't come in with 814 yards in a year and expect to get top tier money. Because if you're asking me, and we talked about Dalvin Cook ad nauseum, but I'd rather Dalvin Cook. I think I'd take
Then
Dalvin.
Mixon. That's a tough
Yeah,
coin flip for me. I like both players a lot.
I just look Dalvin Cook, and I didn't realize I didn't look at this. I looked at him, looking at his stats right now. He actually improved on 2021. So he went up last year. He's not. I mean, he may decrease still. I understand that, but like he went up last year.
Yeah.
Mixon went down.
That's
So
what I was saying. The narrative of Cook is just kind of weird. I never thought he would stay with the Vikings due to what they could have saved. It was always an opportunity cost situation with the Vikings. It never had to do with the player. He's still got a lot going. He's still a very good player. So, I think I don't think he's worth like the crazy, like I don't think I'd pay 9 to 12 million, Adrian. I don't think it's smart money right now. But if I could get him for 5 to 7, I would consider it. And
Wow, your boys could be considering it. Who knows?
I was gonna say, you and I, Adrian, if we're NFL GMs, right? I mean, we might play hardball the way that they are. I mean, it's their job, right? They're supposed to squeeze every dollar out of the washcloth. They're supposed to figure out how to access. I mean, Buffalo's drafted a running back in the third round 4 straight years. Like that's not or in the second or third round 4 straight years. That's not a coincidence. They're operating with rookie deals. And then would you rather have Joe Mixon at 10 or Damian Harris at 1.7? You know what I mean? It's just
so true.
I understand the human side of it's important. It's an interesting theme that we have going on. We have one more legit headline. I know we're all antsy and itching to get to our main topic because of how freaking fun it is. One more to go, and it's a fun one. I'm excited to talk about it because it's a team I've had this quarterback's name in my mouth a lot lately. The quarterback Justin Herbert is hyping up first-round wide receiver Quentin Johnston. The Chargers went out and got him in the first round this year. After practicing with him for the first time, Herbert told reporters that he's going to be something special. Herbert's words, he's a playmaker. He's going to make a lot of plays for us. He showed up, and we knew early that we've got a special guy out there. He's done a great job picking up the offense so far. Adrian, first thoughts on the Quentin Johnston hype train. Choo-choo.
So on board. I mean, look, I know you're lower on Justin Herbert than consensus. Is that a fair statement?
It's more of a I want him to prove to me that he belongs in those echelons that he's being placed in.
And he absolutely is, right? So look, he's got a great supporting cast already. So it's not like he's devoid of weapons.
Right.
One extra one to make it work. I mean, I am every year, and I always get disappointed, but I'm drinking the Chargers Kool-Aid this year with Kellen Moore.
And it goes down real smooth. It's real nice and tasty for a minute until it makes you sick.
Yeah,
until you watch them blow a 3-touchdown lead to the Jags in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that happens. Like I that's the thing, is that like they need to be able to actually deliver goods. That's what you've been saying, and I agree with you completely on that.
Yeah.
But I think this is the year to do it. I really, really do feel like this is the year they're at least going to make, it might not be a deep playoff run, but they'll get a playoff win. They might get into, who knows, right? But, I go back and forth because as I'm talking, I'm kind of talking myself out, but I'm like, the AFC is so tough.
It's a tough conference. It's injuries. It's always injuries. And I understand that that's like real and you can't control that. The injury bug and injury luck is a real thing. Look at the 49ers. Mm-hmm. But something has to give at some point. Like there has to be a positive regression to the mean where I see this Chargers team that other people see. And consistently, I mean, I remember last year, Adrian, there was one Sunday, I think it was the Chargers were on Sunday Night Football. Okay. And I'm going to appeal to the degenerate gambler in you. Okay.
Yeah, please. You know, that's the part that sings the strongest.
Exactly. I think DraftKings was out here and saying something like they boosted the odds to like an even 2-to-1 money. Like you could put in $20, make $20 if Justin Herbert throws one touchdown. And I was like, that's so stupid. Why would they do that? And this man didn't throw a touchdown that game. And he had a lot of games like that, Adrian. He had too many. He's a top 5 quarterback. Okay. Throw a touchdown in every game. Don't have a game where you don't throw a touchdown. Okay.
I can't believe that I would have been on that.
Can you look
Like,
that up? You've been Johnny researching. You've been Jimmy Ray over here with your stats. Can you how many? I felt like he was such a fantasy disappointment. What did he finish in fantasy last year? I doubt he was top 5. I'd be shocked if he was top 8.
let's have a look. Actually,
Okay, we got Thomas spreading some love for the Chargers in the chat. They went on a 4-game winning streak late. They should have rolled this year with an improved OC. I can dig that. I hear you there. I like the Kellen Moore thing, but let's see it though, right? Like I'm ready to see it. Okay, I don't want to keep talking about it until it happens. And Armand, great point. Kareem Hunt might be a Commander. That would be a very very interesting move for the Commanders. Adrian, have I pandered long enough to
No, but close look. I mean, so I don't have his points last year. He's got a projected this year of 320, average draft position of 45, I think it is.
Yeah, health has always been their biggest issue, Thomas. I agree.
Yeah, so I don't have that on hand. You know what? I'll try and have it for the next.
No worries. I could probably pull it up right now. Let me pull it up, and if you want to make a point, and pander for me now.
Let me pander for you. So I think look, Justin Herbert and to the article here, right? We're looking at Quentin Johnston, who is a genuine vertical threat. I think he complements their receivers really well, and I think he's got a QB with a cannon arm. Who's going to be able to put the ball in his hands either down the field. But as we're sort of talking about, they've also got the right offensive coordinator. I'm digging Kellen Moore, and I think he's going to come in. He's going to turn this offense into something we haven't seen yet. And we sort of talk about it in the headlines, but he's going to get him with a lot of slants. He's going to get him the balls in his hands early with a lot of yards after catch. So Quentin Johnston might be a fantasy sleeper. And if we do, I don't know if have we done a fantasy sleepers show? We haven't, have we?
We might have done one super early, like months ago, but we'll get back into that.
Me? Could have been pre-me.
I don't know. I don't remember honestly, but I'll go into the show archives. I'll look into the. I do have some numbers for you though, really quick, Adrian. There were 3 games last season where Justin Herbert didn't throw a touchdown pass.
Youch!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Top
that's
5
okay.
quarterback. We got Armand. Staley seed is blazing. It really is. Anthony made a joke in our legit football Twitter DM. His pants are on fire from the hot seat. But if we're going by like a per game basis, like from a fantasy points perspective, we have a game of 16 points, 6 points, 10 points, 18 points, 13 points, 13 points, 9 points, 14 points, 13 points. This is your QB. Is this your king? Is this your king? That's really how I feel sometimes. I'm sorry, just to be completely honest.
But it's hard to argue with that. Those are the kind of numbers you can't argue with.
Improved OC, I get it, but Staley is still a huge pill. I've never been a fan of his. I don't know how I feel. I want to see it before I anoint. I want to see it before I anoint. That's all. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
And a lot of people.
Thomas, Chargers should fire Staley if they don't win a playoff game. Go get Ben Johnson. Anthony will be furious, but I agree. Yeah,
I think short of one playoff win might not do it for Staley this year. I think they need more than that, or I think he's up the door.
Yeah. I agree. Actually, that's a really good point. And also, let me look really quick here. I'll tell you, Armand, it's weeks. They won against Denver week 6. They won against Tennessee week 15. They won against Indy week 16. Well, I guess you can still win games and not throw touchdown passes, but I don't think that makes you a top 5 QB myself.
Yeah, but you know what? They had Austin Eckler, who was a touchdown machine. So if you get into the line and he runs it in, I get it. I get your point. But that's probably what it was. I think he scored something like 30-something touchdowns in 2 seasons. Like Eckler's
he's a freak. He's awesome. I have him way higher in Dynasty RB ranks than I should. I'm gonna have to work on that myself. I have to really do some soul searching before I, publish my rankings this year, because I've just been absolutely unabashed in my love for Austin Eckler. Jimmy Ray is here, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like this is like the dream team. This is like the legit football Avengers right now. Brian McFadden's gonna start like descending from the ceiling in an Iron Man suit. Last but certainly not least, Adrian, you already know what time it is. It's time for our hit me with it, baby. Hit me one more time. Spoiler alert. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been thinking about this for a long time. Jimmy Ray wants to be Thor. I think maybe possibly the long blonde hair might have a little bit of a beef with that, but that's cool. I mean, I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan. I'll be Ant-Man.
Look,
Avengers episode. We should do, dude. I've been saying we need a panel. If we don't get a panel going before the regular season, I'm gonna pull my own hair out. Adrian, have you been thinking about this main topic as much as I have?
I really have, and I've been like so. And when I get to my songs, there's some real random ones in that I've been going around singing them because I love a good ballad as I walk around the house pretending no one's around, and then my wife there to just judge me really harshly.
Yeah, I love singing myself.
Yeah, so
Jimmy called dibs on Thor. I won't fight him. Armand wants to be the Hulk. Totally fine with that. Makes a lot of sense.
I feel like I'm going to be left to Scarlett Johansson, aren't I?
Big time.
Get my leather jumpsuit.
You could do a lot worse, brother. You could do a lot
worse.
Look
at you. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Speaking of Scarlett Johansson, really quick detour. I saw Asteroid City last night. One of the best movies I've ever seen. You should go see it. Everyone. It's a new Wes Anderson movie.
I haven't even heard of it. Asteroid City.
Asteroid City, new Wes Anderson film starring Scarlett Johansson, Jason Schwartzman, Tom Hanks, Steve Carell.
Can you give us a quick synopsis? What's it about?
I actually can't. I knew nothing about it going into it, and I think that's the preferred way. I would recommend not knowing a thing about it going into it. Bryan Cranston's in it. That's my hero. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing song titles to describe NFL teams' off seasons, and this was inspired by a moment where I was reflecting on my own Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to kick it off if everybody's cool. We don't have a format for this. It's very formless. Jimmy, Armand, Thomas, Anthony, please go crazy in the comments and tell us your NFL team songs to describe off seasons. But this was inspired by me thinking about my Buffalo Bills and the fact that DeAndre Hopkins wasn't going to be wearing a Buffalo Bills. Adrian should be Steve.
Captain Aussie.
Captain Aussie. I love that. And then, yeah, I agree, Jimmy Ray. Bryan Cranston is a king. I was thinking about the fact that the Buffalo Bills didn't get my my coveted DeAndre Hopkins. And I just thought to myself, you can't always get what you want, but you will find sometimes you get what you need. And they got offensive line. They got pass rush. They were responsible with their assets. They didn't really push the chips in any sort of an irresponsible way, but they're still all in. Every year, everybody says this is the best team that's ever going to be around Josh Allen. They blew their shot, and then it's better every year. 2020, losing the AFC Championship game. It's better in 2021. 13 seconds is the best team that's ever going to be around Josh Allen. Boom, 2022, add Von Miller. Well, they blew it. They blew their best shot. We got Leonard Floyd. We have a re-bolstered offensive line. We have Dalton Kincaid. I want to give a shout out to Joe Marino of Locked On Bills. He bangs his drum every single week, and I want to be here to echo it to the legit football listeners. The Bills, as long as they have Brandon Beane as their GM and Josh Allen as their quarterback, will always be contenders. You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. The Rolling Stones. That is my song to describe Buffalo's offseason. I almost went with Toxic by Britney Spears after the Stephon Diggs stuff.
Well,
I almost went. Oh, what? Wow.
Oh, hey, you know what? Don't think.
Dropped the biggest bomb on Adrian Rovito right in his face.
Don't think I didn't hear the shade on Packers being put in tier 5 earlier in the week. Don't think I didn't hear it. I was lost in.
Did you think 4? Would you have done 4?
For sure. Well, wait, hold on. You can't put them in 5, and then because we don't know what Love is, and then there was CJ Stroud in 4. We don't know what CJ Stroud is. Anyway, I'm digressing, but that's what we do in this show.
Don't you come for my Texans, okay? I'm not on the air. Text me privately, okay? We'll talk about this privately.
So you can block me. I had, funnily enough, I had the Bills. I had a bit of Blackstreet, but I had no Digsity because I thought that was the big story at the time.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Was that a little Will Smith? Actually, no Diggity.
No, Blackstreet, no Diggity.
I'm thinking of getting jiggy with it. Who's no Diggity?
Blackstreet.
Okay.
So no Digsity would have been a good
we have.
one,
Jimmy Ray, Rich and Sad by Post Malone. Anthony Richardson pun. We have Thomas. Panthers is I Did It. Not sure if I know
we'll
that.
See.
What did they do?
I don't know it either, but we'll see.
Yeah, what did they do, Thomas? Adrian, you're up.
I'm very real quick on the Bills. Because I have to comment on it. I agree with everything you've said, and I think Josh Allen and Brandon Beane's I don't know if I can say close second, but he's really a top GM.
think top 5 is
Yeah,
comfortable.
top
Yeah.
5 is Fisher. I just don't know if I can put him. My main.
Yeah, Howie is one. No doubt.
Yeah,
Couldn't agree more.
1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, big time.
But Brandon Mead is a really quality GM, and you guys have a good front office that makes that work. I am a little concerned about the Diggs thing. I know they say they've sorted it out.
It wasn't fun. It was not a fun. I'll tell you what, Adrian. I've drafted Diggs in my dynasty league, and everybody's been trying to pry him from me for 3 years, and I always say no. I put him on the trade block with all this. My emotions were flared up, man.
Because like Vikings fans are like, I've seen this movie before. And literally, I know how it ends. Yeah. So that's a little concerning for me. And even I think what threw me as well is when it first happened, Coach McDermott was like, "Oh yeah, no, this is no, we're very concerned about it." But then after some time, it was like, "Oh yeah, no, I let him go." It's like you didn't give that indication in your first press conference, and then pretending that you let him leave training. It just seems a little bit.
I'll tell you what, I think you're right. I absolutely understand where you're coming from, and I do want to just really quickly respond. We haven't talked about it, you and I, and I talked about it the day of all of it on Wednesday, so I've had some more time to reflect and think. McDermott and Diggs were having an important meeting regarding something that was important to Diggs to talk about. Diggs' representation was present. McDermott this is all the day he arrived in Buffalo for minicamp, mandatory minicamp, was planning on practicing. Those talks got hot. Okay. And I understand why they might have. McDermott, it almost sounds, from what I'm hearing from Cover One Buffalo, it almost sounds like McDermott walked from those meetings to the podium where he was asked, "What's your concern level with a player missing practice?" And what is he going to say? He's one of those rah-rah, it takes every guy, every inch coaches. Is he going to say, "Yeah, no, it's cool. Go ahead, miss practice if you want"? No, he said he was very concerned. It was a horrible response. He screwed that one up. I don't blame him for trying to be honest and trying to be genuine, but it was the wrong thing to say. It made everything a lot worse. And then Diggs is taking to social media saying he lets people cap on his name, which it almost seems like McDermott was doing, and it seems like McDermott owned that the following day. And the utmost respect I have for Sean McDermott, and I think he's the man to lead the team. But that was a mishandling of the situation, and I do think that it's safe to assume that for now it's in the rear view until the next thing happens with Steph.
Yeah, I just hope it's not. With him, if there was smoke, I'd assume there's going to be some fire. But maybe. I'm with you. It sounds like they've worked it out, but this is a kind of a recurring thing with Diggs. It's like his frustration. Yeah. I also feel like it's like he hates losing. It's like, cool, yeah, the rest of us love it. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. And I've thought the same thing too, because like we're all leaders, man. We're everybody has their thing that they're really passionate about, and fans go crazy because they hate losing too. But one team wins every year, Adrian. One team, and there's some all-time great players who have never got over the hill. So totally. I know you don't want to be one of those players, Diggs, and you're probably smelling 30, and you're starting to be afraid of that, but trust the process. And you know what helps you get over that hump? Maybe show up when you can. Maybe you know what I mean? Like if you are sick of losing, maybe put in every second you can with your team. Thank you, Jimmy.
Where would you rank Diggs as a wide receiver?
Top 3. I have him top 2 myself.
Top 2, okay. Yeah, I get that. Look, I'd put him top 5 for sure. Probably
it's
top
him
3.
And J. Jeff. Him and J. Jeff are like, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams.
Devontae, until he drops off, he's going to be my number 1.
I was hated on for not putting Tyreek Hill in my top 5. I got a ton of hate.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, let's go. You tell that to Brad McFadden, please, because he thinks I hate Tyreek Hill. This was an amazing detour, and I'm happy we did it. We always should go down these rabbit holes when they come up. But Adrian Rovito, you owe the listeners a song to describe NFL teams' off seasons.
All right. Well, if we're going to kick off with homer teams, I'm going to go with the Packers, and it's not Love Sucks. Now, tell me if you remember this one from Titanic, Celine Dion, The Power of Love. Yeah, I went there. So I've been walking around singing Celine Dion.
He's dropping the bomb.
But here's why. Here's the lyrics. We're heading for something. I'm not going to sing it because I can't do Celine Dion.
I would really rather you sing it, but it's fine if you have to speak.
Totally appreciate it. I'll get my wife to film it secretly when I'm doing it in the shower or something.
Please.
So we're heading for something somewhere I've never been. Sometimes I'm frightened, but I'm ready to learn. The power of love.
That's where I'm at. That's beautiful.
I'm all for it. I've never known a quarterback that is not elite, except for
Yeah.
that 1 year where Brett Hundley that I've just like I always say I've just
Horrible.
wiped it from my memory, just forgot it. Right,
Atrocious.
doesn't exist to me anymore. So, I've never known a new QB. The hype, if you follow as I do, if you follow the Packers beat reporters, the hype really is there, and this is why I'm arguing to put him in the 4th category, because if he can be average to above average, and it's not his rookie year. Let's be honest here. This is his trial. If he can be average or above average, I really think that he's going to come out and they'll do better than they did last year. All they need is a winning record.
Yeah. No,
I think I'm hyping myself up.
I love it. I love the passion, and I hope you're right. I picked him up in Dynasty. I don't think it's insane.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it's insane to think that Jordan Love can be great, but I'm really glad that you brought your love for Love in, and I'm really glad that our producer Anthony Weiner took a complete cheap shot at you on the air with Love Stinks.
I need to go up for the Lions. I really do.
Very, very proud of all of you for that. I would love some more from the comments. We have Armand with "Welcome to the Darkness," or AKA "Welcome to the Jungle." Welcome to the darkness, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you, Armand. Anthony, Adrian, Anthony, Jimmy, Armand, please give us more. I'm gonna go with another one for you guys right now, and this one is a Beatles song. This is a classic.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm going with a Beatles song for the Miami Dolphins. And I'm going with, I have to admit, they're getting better. They're getting better all the time. I don't love saying that. That's a tough one. But it's true. I have to admit they're getting better. Jalen Ramsey coming to the division. Tua's health hopefully is better. The weapons are solid. I love Devon Achane. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. That defense, really, they're pretty stacked, man. I have to admit. They're getting better.
It's very big of you. It's hard. It's really hard to acknowledge when someone's doing well in your thing. Look, you know what's funny? I was trying to find a song because there's a lot of people like this. I was trying to find a song that was just kind of like you're one piece away, and because Tua, I'm not saying he's bad, but it's that availability, man. If he can just stay healthy, they really are. They'll be. It's still Buffalo's division to lose. You can't convince me otherwise. But there's a chance
they'll be contenders 100%. They'll contend for the playoffs. They'll make a fuss in the playoffs 100%. They'll be a hard out. I hope it's not Buffalo again. I'm comfortable saying that at this time in June. Lady Antebellum, New England Patriots. Anthony, the producer pick. What if I never get over you? That is a bar. Thank you so much, Anthony. We all know who he's referring to. It's Mr. Thomas Brady, the GOAT. Jets is one call away. Thomas. I like it. He's bringing the deep cuts. He's bringing the sleepers in. Armand, thank you so much. RESPCT for the Ravens. Absolutely. Lamar got the respect he earned, and this team deserves more respect from the media, especially Lamar Jackson. I'm seeing so many top 5 lists without Lamar Jackson, and they're anointing Herbert, the prince who was promised. No, Trevor Lawrence is the prince who was promised, but they're anointing people when Lamar's done it. In 2019, yes, he's 4 years removed, but he's done it. He's been there. Can
we rabbit hole the Ravens just for a second? Because I got to tell you, I don't think they need that respect. I'm just going to say it. You know what?
Wow.
Rashad Bateman already injured. J.K. Dobbins thinking about a sit-in.
Dobbins is holding out right now, which is insane.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think he's earned any sort of a contract with his health.
It's just
it's the running back position, man. It's all around the league. We're seeing this everywhere. And
if I was a running back, I feel like I'd feel the same way. I do understand where they're coming from. But I'm just all I'm going to say is Lamar Jackson has had injury issues. He hasn't been the same person that we saw with that MVP campaign. I'm not saying he's been bad, but I don't put him top 5. We were like, oh, well, their wide receiver room's restocked. It's like, dude, Rashad Bateman is injured already. Don't get me started on Odell Beckham. I rag on him every single show. Zay Flowers,
you hate him. Yeah.
I actually, it's funny. I had an idea that I think would be a great main topic for us to do, or even just a great running segment, which is the team of Why Won't You Die, where we just have a set.
I do agree.
It's like, and we can take people out and put someone back in, and then just people I don't want to see or talk about.
That's how you feel about OBJ. We have
on that team.
Hurt by Johnny Cash for the Dolphins. Armand, very disrespectful. Richard Swan, the GOAT. Rick Swan, my stepfather. Thank you for being here. Welcome to The Working Week by Elvis Costello. I'm going to assume he's applying that to his New York Football Giants. I could dig that. They are working. They are a work in progress. They're doing their thing. Yo, do you know how many receivers that team has that are like legit? I mean, they're all wide receiver threes, but they have like 7 of them.
But who are we talking about here?
The Giants, Rick's Giants. You know, they're working, man. They Daboll and Joe Shane, they're working. But Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Paris Campbell, Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm not even done. Jalen Hyatt, like those. I had a breakout receiver episode of.
Who's your wide receiver one? Who's your wide receiver one in that list?
Beats me. I actually made a joke on the breakout wide receiver episode on the social media. I just said throw a dart at a board, and then that's your wide receiver one.
There are 10 receiver twos. That's the only thing. They need that. You know what they are? They're kind of like the Bears last season, where they had receivers, just not a one. They had all middle.
They had 5 twos or no 5 threes. The Patriots have done that for years.
Correct.
And they went out and paid big money to another one, Juju. Well, I don't get it.
They had Tom Brady, and I think they're living in that era. They're thinking, what's the song they had on them? Will I Ever Get Over You?
Yeah,
and that's accurate.
Raiders have Porn Dancing by My Darkest Days. Enter QB porn star Jimmy. I hope Jimmy Garoppolo has a mustache this year. I'll just throw that out there.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Handlebar.
How great would that be? Right? Dying in LA by Panic at the Disco. That's great. Oh, Anthony actually showed me that song. That's a fantastic song. You guys, we're killing it right now. I have another one if you guys are ready for another like
bring it on.
Entry from your boy. We have you know what, Adrian, I think it might be your turn, and then I'll come back.
That's okay. I'm happy to.
No, I think it's your turn. Give us.
All right. I'm really happy. I was quite happy with this one. This is channeling a little bit of the first American Idol season winner, if I remember right. Not that I ever watched it, but remember that Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone?
Oh, hell yeah.
That is the theme of the Seattle Seahawks. They have had Russell out the door, and since he's been gone, they can see clear for the first time.
Wow, that's a bar.
I think it's a perfect song for them. I think you've got Pete Carroll can run the offense he wants. It's been much more like, he's favoring the run a little bit. They've got Geno Smith coming in, who had to sit behind him and watch this guy, and now he's getting his bag. They've got, and that run game is going to increase even more now. They've got Zach Charbonnet. They've got JSN on there. Their drafts have been amazing. I'm drinking it. I'm so drinking it. And since Russell Wilson has been gone, it's been stock up for the Seahawks, and I'm all about it.
Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson is a fantastic call for the Seattle Seahawks. You really could go in a lot of directions there, but if we're talking about improvements and teams getting better and being able to breathe for the first time, quoting the song there, it's the Seahawks.
I mean, Pete Carroll when Russell Wilson was there, it was always like, who's going to win the power struggle? Who's going to get fired? Is it going to be Russell Wilson at all? Is it going to be Pete Carroll at all? Now, Pete Carroll got rid of him, and it couldn't. I mean, if you think about what happened when Tom Brady left, it couldn't have gone worse for Belichick.
Yep.
He really, like, Tom Brady went and won a Super Bowl, and he tanked. Seahawks are the reverse of that. They got rid of him. He has gone to absolute spit. That was spit. I'm not swearing on this show.
I love it. He has gone to spit.
And the Seahawks have just gone like stock up, and I love it, man. You know what, Geno Smith. I went into this very like most people. I was like, I use the word when I write this, guffawing, which is exactly like that like really deep belly laugh at like Geno Smith. And
I love it, literally.
And he has just come in and proven it, and man, he deserves it.
Yeah,
I love his personality. Yeah, he did it.
Beautiful thing, Armand. Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones to describe the Bears offseason. Starting to build around field. I like that. That team does look like they're going to get started up. So that's a fantastic one. I have a lot of like little. I liked our pun section. We were doing puns earlier. I have some nice little puns, like Mr. Jones for the Patriots. That was kind of a shout out to the Counting Crows. A little Mr. Jones action for the Pats.
Love that.
Just some weird Counting Crows love. I don't know why the Counting Crows were in my head, but the Kansas City Chiefs have been hanging around, man. They've been hanging around the top where they'll always be. I mean, they're getting bored of the view up here. They've been hanging around.
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
What's funny? Can I throw mine in for the Chiefs so we can discuss them both, because I feel like they're tied together.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know who sang this originally, but just the two of us. I feel like it's kind of like they've just got Patrick Mahomes and Andy
Mahomes
Reid, and they don't really care about anything else. It's like, we've got the two of us, and we're going to make it. Like, that's it. It doesn't matter what, you can give us a wide receiver one that's Juju Smith-Schuster. That doesn't matter.
Does not matter. No,
I mean, Kelsey, maybe just the three of us with Kelsey. I don't know if we can edit the songs here, but
yeah, no, that's absolutely you'd have to throw on an extra number for Travis Kelce. Maybe like I got it. The three best friends that anyone could have from the Hangover film.
There's
for
perfect.
Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce.
That is so perfect.
Very, very Kansas City Chiefs. I think what would be really fun now is, Adrian, do you have any more like official entries into your list?
I've got a couple. I've kind of went down a rabbit hole on this, and I did a few.
Send them all off. And what I'm thinking would be really fun is if we go rapid fire with Richard Swan, Armand, Jimmy Ray, Thomas, and each other. If we just pick a team, and then rapid fire, pick a song.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Well, you first. Empty the clip first. Empty what you got.
Let me pander for a second, just so you guys have time to think about something. So I had. I had three teams to do this, and it's really for any team that's just a quarterback away. I had Lose Yourself by Eminem. You only get one shot, and that's straight at Desmond Ridder. That's straight at Sam Howell. And it's actually straight at Russell Wilson. You have got one season to make this work, or you are out the door, my friend. Whether
Who'd you say that? Who'd you say that for?
Desmond Ridder.
Sam
Howell.
And
Russell Wilson.
That's a beautiful message. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to prove that you're a starting NFL quarterback, right? That's how it is. This opportunity comes.
Particularly then, because the team is loaded. There's plenty of sub-average quarterbacks, but like the Falcons, we've talked about them, absolute darlings.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders might be one of the more complete teams outside of the quarterback room. They're set in their wide receiver room. Their defense is good to go. Their line is good to go. They're really and at the end of this year, they've got a contract here for a lot of their team. So I think that Sam Howell is going to have one shot. If he doesn't deliver, he's out the door. And then we've talked about the Broncos at nauseum here. You know what it is. That's Sean Payton's team. And if Russell Wilson doesn't deliver, I actually looked it up what his cap hits would be. So if they let him go now, it would be a disaster. They can't do that. Next year will be a $49.6 million cap hit in 25. So they could still work around it. They can still work around it in 24. But that cap hit, if they do post June 1st, $49.6 million. After that, he's out the door anyway. But
wow.
So I Lose Yourself. And then the only other one I had on here. So I did the Chiefs, just the two of us. And then I had, I don't know if you remember this song. Remember Gimme More by Britney Spears?
Classic. Yeah.
And that's all about Kellen Moore. I don't need to go into that because I was just talking about it.
Gimme More. Let's go. That's a good one. Give me more. Yes.
That's exactly it. So Justin Herbert's singing that.
Okay, we're back to Toxic. We have Armand throwing a Toxic shout out. Another Britney Spears song. She's coming up quite a lot. Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. I have one for you. How about this for Armand's Jets? Doon 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 doon. Doon 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 doon. You all know where I'm going with this. Oh, it's actually Under Pressure. No.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Ice Ice Baby.
He actually sampled it. Vanilla Ice he sampled Under Pressure by David Bowie and Queen, and I think that describes Aaron Rodgers' Jets because if that team doesn't go to an AFC championship game, then they burned it all down for nothing.
A couple of teams you could probably apply that to.
Absolutely.
To be honest, a couple of teams I agree on. Who haven't we done? I'm just looking at
give me the list because I'm having so much fun with this. I feel like we could rapid fire this until Under Pressure. Thank you, Armand. Yes, he probably knew from the beginning, Adrian. He didn't throw me that. You're such a 90s baby, dude. Throwing me Ice Ice Baby when I'm clearly doing David Bowie.
I am a 90s baby. And you know what? Like, I feel like you would have a wider palette of songs that I'm going to have here. But you know what? Whatever.
I'm a big 80s guy myself. Like, I love Bowie. I'm getting big into Bowie.
I've always been an R&B person. And so, like, for me,
I love
90s
R&B.
It's kind of like the pinnacle. So, 90s R&B. 2000s were I do love a little bit of house and a little bit of like electro and vocal electro because that was those days when I used to go to festivals and
nice. Okay, you were a festival kid, huh?
Oh, loved it.
I could see that. See that.
But that's okay. You know what? You just bring me along for the journey with you. You tell me the song and I'll just pretend to know it.
Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be a fun one. We can really, really reach down in the barrel for this one. We can really, really take some cheap shots here if you want to, Adrian. Do you want to kick this one off, or do you want to think about it?
Look, I'm thinking about it, but I know Armand already called that toxic on this one, and I couldn't agree more. Like that really is.
with Kyler. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think for the Cardinals is a Michael Jackson song, and it's called "Bad." That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think
I feel
that's
like though that's the only unfair part about that is that Michael Jackson saying bad in a good way.
yep.
They're
They're
bad,
bad in
yeah,
a bad way.
but the title fits perfectly.
They're just bad in a bad way.
Yeah, I hear
Um,
you on that.
I think maybe also you could also throw a little shout out to Kanye West, and they're stronger. What doesn't kill them is going to make them stronger. They're this year's going to be it's going to get worse before it gets better this year. So whatever doesn't kill them this year might make them stronger in the future.
Okay.
We have raining blood for the Vikings from Armand. That's a little intense. Because of the bloodbath to the defense, he said. That's a little intense for me, but
But
I
I
do
like
see
it.
the vision. I see the vision.
I know we had a Raiders one already, but I had to Google if this song actually exists, and it does. A song called "What Were You Thinking?" and that's what I apply to the Raiders, just in every aspect. I'm just trying to like, what the hell is going on in that building, man?
Maybe a little. What do you mean for the
Yeah,
Raiders?
yeah. Like, what do
Yeah,
you mean Jimmy G is your starting quarterback? What do you mean? Sorry, I know
literally.
you.
I
I
mean,
know you
I
like
do.
him.
I like Jimmy, but this offseason's made it harder to defend him with the whole foot thing, and it's like a sneaky, scary situation.
Like, I mean, so what do you mean Jimmy G's your quarterback? What do you mean Darren Waller went out the door for peanuts? What do you mean Devontae Adams isn't on the same page as you? What do you mean you didn't pick up Josh Jacobs' fifth-year option and have to
Yeah,
pay for it? What do you mean Josh McDaniels is still your head coach? There is so many what do you means.
yeah.
So I'm very low on the Raiders this season, if you haven't noticed.
I think I'm gonna throw one in there for Jalen Hurts. How about a little money, 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 money? Right? Okay,
You
he
need
hit the
that.
note.
You need high on the end.
This man hit the note, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let him tell you he's not a singer ever again.
I always think of, I don't know if you're a Family Guy, but when Brian is hammered and singing money, 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 he's appeasing to a tree? No? Anyway, fantastic.
Literally,
Fantastic.
literally. I think we need to give Anthony's Detroit Lions some love. Do you got a song for the Lions to describe their offseason?
Yeah, yeah. Look, you know what? And it doesn't really fit because it's Tiger, but to me, they have Eye of the Tiger, not because
I like that.
that
That's a
build
good
up.
pun, though.
Yeah, and synonymous with like
Right.
fighting. And I just get, they're those kneecap biters, and they're gonna
It's
thrive.
Eye of the Tiger. That is the Lions theme this year. That's a great call.
It's weird that because they're an NFC North team, but I still love the Lions. I can't help it.
Oh, Tyler says
We're
we are the champions.
Yeah.
Wait, what, Tyler? Why are you saying the Bills song? That's kind of weird, man. I don't get it. I don't understand. I love the absolute cast of characters we've had on this episode. We have freaking Tyler, Jimmy, Armand, Thomas, Anthony, Richard Swan. We had the breadth of legends in the legit football chat today. It doesn't get better. Like I said, if only Brian McFadden descended from the sky in a Tony Stark costume, we would really be in the clear. But I'm getting close to tapped out, Adrian. I don't know if you have any more that you could think of, or any other teams that you think we should give a shout out to. Did we miss any teams? I don't hate the idea of having one for every team.
High hopes, Penny. No, we have missed some teams, but I'll see what I can do. I don't know if we'll be able to get one for every, but I'm gonna call out the Bears here because someone else, Aman said start me up.
Start me
up. I don't know if there's a name for this song, but what is that? You know that sound drop where it's like wah wah wah, whatever that is called. That is the song for the Bears. I'm sorry, guys. You guys can convince it. See, and this is not NFC North here because
100%. Yeah.
That was a Brian McFadden ghost writer. Do it again, Anthony.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And can I on air request, Anthony? I want my own sound drop because like this, wow, okay. And then now there's a Brian McFadden one. I just feel like I want to be part of the team one day.
Disrespected.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. That's a tough one.
Dallas Cowboys. Ooh. Okay. All right. Then what's
high hopes for the Denver Broncos? That's fun.
I've got it for the Cowboys. This is the Cowboys song is 100% going to be Trey Songz Missing You because they're singing the Kellen Moore. They're going to be, what did we do? This was such a mistake.
Thank you for calling that out because I don't think enough people talk about that when they talk about the Cowboys. There's a lot of off-season love for Dak Prescott. Deservedly so. Cole Beasley on Twitter yesterday said he was the best leader he ever played with. I digressed myself as a Josh stan. But, there's a lot of love for Dak Prescott. He's getting top 5 buzz, top 10 buzz. So I think the Kellen Moore departure is going to be a sneaky problem for them. You never want coordinators to be part of the story, but when you lose a good coordinator, it hurts. See Ken Dorsey replacing Brian Dable. It's not always seamless,
That, and the problem is, so it's kind of, you're right, it is slept on a little bit. So Mike McCarthy talked about wanting to run the ball more, like he does it, and it's like, dude, you got Dak Prescott, and they fired Kellen Moore. They sent him out the
if
door.
that's true, that's hilarious. Thank you for that. 10,000 days since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. That's brutal. If that's
and
true.
They sent him out the door. Like, it's different when you lose. So you lost Dable to a head coaching job. They fired Kellen Moore. What are you thinking?
Right. That was so stupid. Just because of, I have a feeling it had to do with the Ezekiel Elliott at center play where he snapped the ball and got rocked.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that might have to do with his firing, but that might have been
I honestly think it was McCarthy covering his own ASS, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I think Jerry Jones.
You can't spell cuss words, bro. Kids can spell, man.
Well, technically, I could have been talking about a donkey, which would be very fitting.
Earlier you said spit. Maybe next time say ash.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah,
does that work? I don't know.
Sorry, it was a verbal typo. I should have said ASH.
Verbal typo.
So I think that was Mike McCarthy covering himself, and
I think it's possible.
Jerry Jones, he needed a sacrificial goat, but if I'm being honest, I think that was
song. We need a Jag song. And you know what? I'm gonna go with. It's got to be a Prince song because Trevor Lawrence is the Prince who was promised. I'm gonna go with either Raspberry Beret or wait, what's the energy one? The one that Bruno Mars covered. It's like Get Wild or something like that. It's like a party song. I can't think of it. It's really fun. It's a really good. It's a jumping song.
Let's Go Crazy?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the Jag song because Trevor Lawrence is going to contend for an MVP this year, and he's the Prince who was promised.
So on board with you.
Beautiful thing.
So on board with you.
Are we missing anyone? I feel like I feel like we're killing this. I'd love to do rapid fire every team before we get off.
All right. Well, let's go through the list. So Bills we've done, Dolphins we've done, Pats we've done, Jets we've done.
Mr. Jones and me.
Bengals.
I don't know if we did Bengals or not. We're getting ready to wrap the show up. Anthony's giving us the walk-off music, so we have a couple more minutes to steer the ship home. All Bengals, right. I'll say I don't got one off the top of my head. That might have to be one we think about and cook.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
That one could be. You know what? Show me the money is Bengals.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Burrow's going to get paid. Chase is going to get paid. Higgins is going to get paid. Something that has to do with money.
All right, we've got the Browns, which I've got to go for the Browns is The Weeknd, Save Your Tears, more recent song.
Oh, I love that. That is such a good one.
All those people crying about the last season, just wait. I'm wish casting because I don't like Deshaun Watson, but I think he's going to ball out this year, and I think they've got the crew around him. And if the Bengals do regress the way you have predicted, and there's a chance.
A tiny bit. I don't think they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're not going to be at the end of the dance like they always are. I think they'll be in the divisional round, and I hope to God that's where they see the door. But I think they'll make it, and I think, again, I'm wish casting as well, but they're going to contend.
I think the Browns are going to be able to just like they might not take the division, but they're going to have their gloves in the ring. That's for sure.
I agree. Texans, I'm on my way.
Great one.
Titans, I'd love to maybe When I'm 64 by the Beatles, just because they're all old. Maybe this is like a we had our fun type situation. They're moving on.
Oh yeah.
Is that everyone? Did we do it?
I think we're close enough. I think you know what? On this show, we don't like to just claim things we've done, but in this case, we've done enough.
Oh yeah, walk off music. It's official. Thank you, Anthony Weiner. I'll say my goodbyes. I want to give a special thank you to Armand Mosin. We missed you dearly. It's so great to have you back. Tyler Weiner, thank you for being here. Twin with a voice of an angel. Like I said to Brian McFadden on Wednesday, Adrian, if you've never heard a set of twins harmonize, you need to listen to Anthony and Tyler's music. It's a beautiful thing. I think God made twins to create the perfect harmonic partner.
Amazing.
We have Adrian Rovito. We want to thank you for being here. We have Rick Swan. We have Thomas, as always. Thomas has become a staple of the chat. We love having Thomas. And am I missing anyone? Jimmy Ray. Appreciate you, Jimmy Ray, for being here. Thank you all for listening. This is one of the more fun episodes. We're in the dog days of summer, so the content is going to get real creative from here on out until training camp. But I wouldn't have it any other way, Adrian.
I hear you, man. This has been like I said, I was worried about where this was going to go when we first came there. I was like, oh, how much can I do? And then I started writing it. And I was like, this is amazing. This is so fun. Fantastic. It's such a good topic.
Such a fun topic. And we love ADD, weird scatter shot, like, take one from the comments, give one to each other, come up with things on the fly. That's what we do here. We build the plane as we fly it, to quote my partner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's all send great thoughts and prayers to Adrian and his family as they await the birth of a newborn. We are very much looking forward to the world getting one more Packers fan. Last but certainly not least,
I already bought a Packers onesie. I legit
love it. Last but not least, Anthony, thank you for letting us ramble on these last 20 minutes. You're the GOAT. We'll see you all very soon. This has been the Legit Football NFL podcast. Catch you later.